Hello cartoonists, hope you got your pencils ready. It's time for another cartoon workshop, and this time another request. It's a crocodile, but I've decided to do a little bit of something with it. I thought it'd be quite funny to have a vegan crocodile. So he's actually roasting a carrot over a fire. Now, really simple start to this. If you want to join in, straight line at the top of the page, somewhere there, because you've got to leave room for all the body that's going to come. Underneath that line, we've got a big W. And what we're starting off here with is a pair of sunglasses. You can shade in the corners like that, leaving the middle blank, and that looks like there's a bit of a reflection on the sunglasses. So this is the nose of the crocodile working on now. Start off with a little line there, just a small one, and then overlap another curved line. Okay, alongside that another curved line. You do as many of those as you want, however long you want the nose to be, but that's about the length that I'm going to do it. Just basically 3 of those short lines. Now a little sort of triangular end shape there, and that is going to be for the nostril. There's the other one, you can't quite see as much of that, so a lot of lines overlapping here. So there's the nostril, just a circle coloured in there. You can't see it on because it'd be on the other side of the other nostril, so we don't need to do it for the other one. Now we're going to have a big sort of U shape coming down here for the end of the its nose, which dangles down a little bit. You'll see why in a minute. It looks quite funny. It's quite effective. So for the main part of the bottom of the face, we're going from the sunglasses all the way down. So as deep as you want, doesn't matter, and up to round about there. And that leaves it looking like it's got a tiny little smile there, which we're going to alter in a second. So it's basically a big old C shape from the glasses to there, and it doesn't matter if it's deeper than mine, shallower than mine, it doesn't matter. So a second line now from the sunglasses, following that line and ending a little bit higher up there to where that little smile was. Now it's a big smile. And there's a fun bit, add a few teeth, basically a triangle, or A shape, capital A, V, depending on which way you're drawing it. So it looks quite funny that it's sticking up and down like a jagged row of teeth. So this is the back. We're going to go to about there. We're going to again work our way down the cartoon like I normally tend to do, starting from the head going downwards. So once you've got that smile with the teeth, it's starting to look like a crocodile, and we're only a few minutes in, so if you've got that far, you're doing really well. So this is the neck. Again, go as thick as you like. It's curving slightly. It's curving slightly into its tummy, its neck into its tummy. So you start down, then go out to the right a little bit and curve it. But if it's bigger than that, that's fine. Again, it's going to be your crocodile, so you're just using this as a rough guide. Hope you're keeping up okay. Now we're going to just draw this front leg now, and it's just like a little curve positioned around about there from the tummy area. Doesn't matter if it's not looking like it's standing up straight, because it's going to have its tail to help it balance in a minute. So we've got that sort of shape there for the hip and the foot. At this point we'll just draw a line going up to give us a guide. That's the ground, and there are some toes. It's got kind of clawed toes, so they can be quite pointy. And there's the foot on the other side. Now it may look as though they're set a little bit forward, like it's going to fall backwards in a minute, but like I say, the tail's coming soon, which balances it up a little bit. And we're going to create that tail now, because we're going to carry on that back down. Okay, and I'm going to curve it up. I'm going to do it in two parts. If you can think you can do it in one, that's great. Just go with it, just take your time. There's the tail, it curves up. It's like the dinosaur we drew the other week. Very similar. I think they do date back a bit, these things. Okay, so I'm curving that tail down and down to the floor there. And we're getting a rough idea of the shape of that crocodile. There's the back of its leg. So you've got the main body and the head now. What we're going to do now is the arm. It's going to be holding something. It's actually going to be holding a pepper grinder. So we'll start with a little V shape for the arm because it's bent. That's its elbow. I'm going to follow that line with another little V shape. Now this might be quite tricky. We're going up. Okay. It's quite an intricate little bit this, so if you can keep up that'd be good. Now this is like a big number 3 with an extra bit there, and that makes up the hand there. So like a line number 3 and an extra bit. Familiar shapes again. And you can see the knuckles on that hand, which looks like a number 3 shape. So we're going to have 2 little lines coming up from there and closed at the top, so it's like a square in its hand. Down below, another couple of lines closed off, going slightly wider, but that's not important really. We're just building up now a pepper grinder, if you've never drawn one of those before. Okay, there's another little extra line. These are all details that will help make your cartoon look more impressive. And a big N shape on the top. And that's the bit that the turn to grind your pepper. And there's a little bit on the top where they unscrew it to get more pepper in there. I like to make sure the cartoon kind of makes sense. And a big square at the bottom, and there you've got it. So if you manage to keep with that, it might be your first time drawing a pepper grinder. Okay, another little triangle there. That's the thumb. Most of the arm is, well, all of the arm is hidden by the body. So that's the thumb. I'm just finishing that thumb off there. A couple of fingers, basically overlapping lines, because that's going to be holding on to a fork in a minute. But here's another fun bit, really easy, just little zigzags. And that's like the armour plating type of thing on its back and its tail. And you can only see it from the side, so we don't have to go into too much detail. But again, we're adding to the detail of the cartoon. So this line now is for its tummy, and that is where we're going to separate the shades or colours. I mean, I'm going to colour this bottom part yellow and the main body green, and that sort of separates the two. And again, they're more details but quite simple to do. If you put these lines across, again, it's like armour plating. The crocodiles have such tough creatures. And just add those lines in. We're really getting there now. It's starting to really take shape with all these little bits and pieces we keep adding. Here's a barbecue fork, just 2 parallel lines, and on the end these little spikes. You finish those off with a little U shape in the middle. That looks like the forks, but they're quite short because they're actually sunk into something. You can put anything you want on the end of that fork. I'm going to put a carrot on the end, and I've done that fork a little bit close to the nose, so it's got to be something reasonably small. There's some lines on the carrot, but if you draw the fork going straight, you can put something big on the end, like a cabbage or anything you want really. Okay, so there's the leaves of the carrot. So it's actually going to be cooking it over an open fire. So he's been very responsible, this crocodile. He's put some stones as a fire surround, and these are just different ovals and circles next to each other. Quite nice to draw. Just line them up like big pebbles. A little bit of shading underneath. We can shade it all in a minute. These are just some sticks that it's gathered up. Just some simple little cross lines. Again, no big detail there, but it looks detailed at the end of the cartoon. Now these flames, if you do curved up to a point, all different shapes, doesn't have to be exactly like mine, just curve them but end up with a point at the top. And some extra bits that have flown up into the air. You can put some sparks on it, all you like. That's a really easy way, nice simple way of drawing a fire. There's no mistaking that's a fire if you just do it something like that. So shading now, or colouring, if you're using a nice green for the top of the body, or purple, whichever colour you want. But if you want to make it look more like a traditional cartoon of a crocodile, you can. That back foot there is in the dark a little bit in the shade, so we colour that a little bit deeper than the rest because it's in the background. If you've watched the workshops before, you'll know I like to put things in the background by putting them in the shade a little bit. Now these bottom bits are going to be in yellow, like the bottom of his jaw and the tummy. So I'm just finishing off that shading there. Any little darker bits go over again, just to add a little bit more 3D effect to your cartoon. Under the chin there's going to be a little bit of shading there. And the carrot, mine's going to be orange, and the leaves are going to be green. And shade half of these pebbles like this, just again 3D, and a bit of shading underneath. And it's just building up more and more detail in your cartoon. These are going to be a darker colour again, or just go over with a darker pencil. Esther, I hope you're watching. You recently joined our cartoon group and you're doing really well. Keep your work coming in. And Mark, who's in lockdown in Africa, who's joining the cartoon workshops, he's coming home soon. So well done to you, you'll enjoy drawing this. So if you've got any colours you want to put on this, just feel free, felt tips, whatever you've got, just shade it in. I'll be looking forward to seeing what results come out of it. Don't forget to sign your work. You never know, you might just need a vegan croc. Here's another couple of rough ones I did. One's got a butternut squash and he's holding a cabbage or a lettuce, and the other one has got a bottle of hot sauce and a pepper. You can put anything you want on there, so give us a thumbs up please, and whatever you'd like to draw, leave a comment, let me know, get your friends to subscribe, and these will keep popping up and there might be something you'd like to draw. See you on the next workshop.